And when you click start, it should take.
All right, it looks our hangout is live. What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris. I'm having trouble with my earphones here, and I am live here with Federico Iossa from Federico Talks Watches. What's up, buddy?
I'm chilling, man. I think you gave everybody like half a damn stroke with you untangling your microphone and like giving me static.
It was probably very, very odd. I'll do my intro again. Ready? What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and welcome to, I don't know, what is this? It's not an Ask T&H. It's just talking watches with my buddy Federico. So what do you want to get into? You want to say hello to everybody first? Do you want to introduce yourself? Yeah. And I'm sure everyone knows you, but...
Well, it's been a long time, you know, and we were just talking on the phone, and we're like, dude, we haven't live streamed, well, ever, you know, since I left New York, and we should get on that. So first of all, let me just say, it's really good to talk to you again, dude. You know, talking watches.
Talking live, yeah.
Good old days,
Yeah.
But
no, it's good shit. Federico and I had a ton of fun when the Theo and Harris channel still isn't all too big, but Federico and I have been recording videos since Theo and Harris channel had like 700 subscribers. So now we're at 19,400, which is a big difference, you know, from 700. So yeah, we go way back. Numerically, as far as Theo and Harris is concerned, we go way back. So it's cool. It's just cool. So let's talk about watches. What are you wearing right now, buddy? What's on your list?
Well, in honor of being on your channel, I busted out the vintage. And I've got the Omega Chrono Stop with the limited edition Italian market dial. And actually, it's got a little like crusty yellow tobacco patina going on, which
I remember that watch. I remember that watch when you bought it. I think I was with you a couple days later, and I fucking loved it then, and I love it now. That's a very underrated watch. The Chrono Stop line as a whole is very underrated. We're actually listing one on the shop this week, but they're beautiful watches with beautiful bracelets.
Well, yeah, that's the reason I bought it, is because of the bracelet. I mean, that's what happens when you're chilling in bed with your MacBook at 2 a.m. and you're on the time zone sales section.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
is that where you bought that?
Yeah, man. I didn't even negotiate. He had it for a good price, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'll take it.
And you've had no mechanical problems? It's all been good?
I mean... It's all been good, and I never had a problem with it.
That's great. That's awesome, man. That's good shit. I love the watches. You know, I have one right now with this like Milanese bracelet, which is just this. For you guys who don't know Milanese, it's like this woven metal. I have it in steel, but they make them in gold and white gold and platinum and all that kind of stuff. Actually, what's really cool is that John Goldberger, that really crazy Italian watch collector, probably one of the best in the world.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why is an Italian called John Goldberger? Because I saw that.
Well, that's not his real name. That's not his real name.
Oh, really? Because I'm like, what Italian is John Goldberger?
No, it's an alias. For whatever reason, the mysterious, probably billionaire, has an alias. So anyway, this guy's got, I mean, some incredible watches. And the one I'm referencing right now, I believe it wasn't a 6263. I don't remember what reference it was. It was vintage Daytona. And it was made for the German market. One unique special order. And it's in white gold with a white gold, I believe, Milanese bracelet. And if not, then it's, but it's a fucking. So for those of you who aren't familiar with vintage Rolex, if you think modern Rolex is expensive, something like that could be worth, $500,000, $750,000, 1.5 million. It all depends on who's in the bidding war, but that's the kind of watch that could legitimately be worth millions of dollars. So, and I don't know if it rightfully so, but damn, is it fucking cool,
That is definitely fucking cool. And actually, I mean, I get most of my vintage info from either a few blogs or from you.
Yeah.
So, I would have never found
vintage world is awesome. I think that what's so cool about watches is because they're so complex, not just in history, but I mean, forget history. You can just look at seriously, just look at right now. It takes so much work to understand a single watch, a single even simple watch. You know what I mean? So I think being in the watch hobby is an incredibly humbling experience. I almost never say definitively this is the answer to this question about a watch and all the variations that were made, because it's almost unlimited. The information is it's ever changing. We're always unearthing new things, especially in the vintage world.
Especially in your field, because you're in the vintage field. I consider myself knowledgeable in the modern type stuff, but everything I'm knowledgeable about, or I think I'm knowledgeable about, it's all been well documented. It's
Exactly.
a Google away. It's a phone call to Rickon away.
With vintage, man, we literally learn new stuff almost every day. You know, I'm finding just new things, and I'm actually dealing with a client right now, a real gentleman, and a guy with really good taste. So he bought a Cartier, right, from me. And it was a watch that really threw me for a loop when I first acquired it, which was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago. And I had it for quite a while before I sold it. But, you know, I know that you were a big Cartier fan, but I don't know if you've ever dove into the Vermeil lines before. Have you, like, really studied them?
I love them. And actually, shameless plug, when I started my store, I actually got a Lamasse tank. That was one of the first things I put up on them.
That's which we'll get to in a second. Federico did launch a store.
We'll talk about, but back to Cartier first.
We'll get that in a second. Back to Cartier for 1 second. I think what is so interesting about the Vermeil line, right, is it existed in a period of time in which Cartier wasn't sure if they were going to be a jewelry company that just sold their name, or they were going to be a watch company. You know, Cartier is they floated in that odd middle space for a long time. And because of the, I don't want to say lack of respect, but, you know, almost lack of respect for their own watches in many instances, there's inconsistency. And there are so many variations, small little variations in these watches that make no sense.
You know another reason for the variation? Cartier was actually 3 companies at one point. There was Cartier London, Cartier Paris, and Cartier New York.
Oh, right.
All 3 separate owners, 3 separate companies.
I didn't realize there were 3 separate owners.
Well, I mean, I think one guy owned the majority of the shares, but there's 3 different managing directors is probably a better way to say it. But they were not intertwined, really. There was no communication.
I had no idea. So it's quite possible that they were using similar fundamental, like elements, like cases or dials, but there were so many variations within them.
Absolutely. Just like anytime you see Cartier, like a Cartier, if you get a tank that says Cartier Paris on the dial, that's a European tank, because in America, they never stamped Paris on the dial. It was Swiss. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I had a Santos Dumont. And have you ever seen my Santos Dumont?
Hell yeah, dude. You love that thing.
Oh, yeah. That fucking thing is beautiful. And that's stamped Swiss. Beautiful, beautiful watch. But anyway, my wristwatch check. I'm wearing a pretty cool watch. I don't know if you can tell what it is, but pretty fucking cool AP Royal Oak in yellow gold. I have never, and this is coming from someone who wears Rolex day dates on a regular basis, I've never felt like more of a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a scumbag wearing it in like a my dad'll sue you way. And I'm so not like that, but it's kind of the persona the watch embodies. So I don't know, it's kind of fun.
Well, dude, with that watch on your wrist and your poofy haircut, I'm just wondering how many kilos of cocaine you smuggled this week.
Yeah, exactly. I was sending photos of this to somebody. I don't know who it was. And I said, now no one's going to believe I don't sell coke. No matter how much of a compelling argument I put forward, no one's going to believe it. And for those of you guys who don't necessarily get why we're talking about cocaine, just if you look at it like historically, I mean, big drug dealers just, for whatever reason, very poetically, wore these really blingy gold watches, AP Royal Oaks, or like state dates, things like that.
And actually, on top of that, with the colors of your polo, the haircut, and the watch, it looks like you should be listening to Huey Lewis in the news.
Yeah. I can't take the time off of work to get married. But anyway, let's talk about your business, man. Let's give the viewers a little bit of you go ahead and give them kind of catch them up to date in what's happened, in your your professional life, and now catch them up to date in what's going on right now.
All right, sure. I mean, if you guys don't know me, I'm sure most of you do. I've been in the watch industry 10 years. I worked in retail for Cartier and Vempe. I was in the wholesale sales manager of Piaget for Richemont Group. I started this watch channel, yada, yada. And essentially, now I'm independent again. I'm living in Miami. I thought a cool idea to kind of work in watches full time, along with my YouTube, would be like, not just sell pre-owned watches, because everybody sells pre-owned watches, or a lot of people do. I liked your idea, so I called you up. I did a lot of this with Christian's blessing and with his ideology behind it. And I said, yo, I really like what you're doing. And essentially, I came up with the idea to sell more modern pre-owned watches, but to curate the selection myself. Because a lot of people send me emails like, Fed, what do you think of this watch? Or, what watch should I buy? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pick like 40, 50 really cool watches. They're either really cool or strange.
Right.
And I'm going to kind of put it up and for a fair price. Everything is in very good condition. They're all serviced, yada yada. I got all those tips from Christian, and yeah. So that's how DelReyWatch.com, shameless plug, DelReyWatch.com. That's
Not
how it was
shameless
born.
Shameful. No, completely. And Federico and I talked about this, I don't know, 2 months ago ish. I really don't remember.
Yeah.
I think I was drinking. I think that for a watch geek, to be able to actively curate, watches and own watches and buy what, and sell, it's like the ultimate kind of, I don't want to say habit, but it's the ultimate practice, or just, it's almost like it's, what I mean? It's hard to explain, but it's very idealistic, I mean, these are the things that we literally love to play with, but instead of waiting for that once or twice a year to go to a meetup or to meet other people, we house or we have our own meetups with ourselves every single day. When I look at some of the shit that's in my watch roll, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, that is just fucking crazy. And I feel like now that you have these Cartiers, you have these, Sea Dwellers, you have day dates, you have so much stuff right now, so many awesome watches. It's just like a candy shop, right? It's a kid in a candy shop. I play
with them all day. Me and my partner John are literally like either answering, a couple phone calls and emails or just playing with watches. And we have everything from like manual wind Zenith El Primeros or less expensive Cartiers, or we have a $20,000 Patek annual calendar.
Yeah, that's 19,000.
19. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
We were talking about that watch yesterday too. One of my, I think I mentioned this many times before, but some of you may have not heard it. One of my grail watches, right? Probably a watch that I really would hope to own one day if I was so financially fortunate. Would be a Patek Philippe 3940. Really it would be a Patek Philippe 3448. But 3940 is, just as good, not quite, but it's very good. So it's a wonderful watch. It's extremely balanced, but they are 40, 50 grand now. I mean, they're creeping
and going up.
So, and what's the reference you have right now on the annual? The 5235, 5035?
50, is it 5035?
There you go. I was close. That watch at $20,000, I just feel like represents so much value. It almost hurts, in a world where, what is that? A white gold case?
It's a white gold case, but it has the very rare gray dial, which is only for the platinum watch.
And I don't mean to diss the Nautilus. I love the Nautilus. Seriously. I'm a huge fan. No, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there right now. But in a world where, a Nautilus, a steel watch, steel Patek, no compromise on quality, but just it's a steel sports Patek, is 25 or 28. People are paying close to 30 grand for this watch, and you can get an actually complicated Patek in white gold with a rare dial for 20. I don't know. I think that it's hard to argue against. And honestly, like, it is more formal than the Nautilus. But Jesus, that 5035 rides a middle line in formality. That's not an isolating watch. It's not like you're buying a vintage Calatrava at 32 millimeters.
But
this is a watch you can dress up and down.
Let me ask you this, and I'm comparing apples to oranges, and this comment might get some hate. But when a new Nautilus is 25,000, and you've got a 3-year waiting list. But for example, one of my favorite watches in my shop is a manual wind Zenith El Primero, and that's 2,800. So 10% of the cost. Is it 10% of the watch?
I wouldn't argue that it is. I mean, I would say it's more. But I agree with you. Just the only for people like us, people that do collect watches that are between $800 sometimes, and we'll go up. We'll go up into the $10, $15, $20,000 range, right? We're not shy about it. Still, when we do hit those numbers, that becomes a real treat. That's a crazy watch for someone like me and probably someone like you. I do know people that
high.
Okay, well then even there, but there are people that a $2,000 watch or a $700 pair of shoes, it just doesn't do it. It's just not. It's like a waste of money. They almost, from my understanding, speaking to some of these clients, they'd rather spend $45,000 really well than like throw away $2,000. That's to me,
that's bullshit.
I don't agree with it, but that's their value,
Yeah, but Christian, to me that's bullshit, because whether it's my vintage Omega, my $200 Seiko, or my Breitling, my radio mirror, my sub, I get, people are like, why didn't you just save up all your money and buy one Grail? Because it wouldn't bring me the same joy as it does to swap it out every day.
Right, and that's how I feel. Believe me, I believe you and I are on the same plane here. I think that it's just needing more and more clients and seeing how more and more people think about watches. It does get a little bit. It becomes a little bit more clear, and I think that for people like us who are in the industry of buying and selling watches, it's important to kind of recognize how other people are thinking. And I don't agree with a lot of my clients. Some of my clients, I'm just like, I don't agree with you at all. But at the end of the day, they buy what they want to buy. Bringing us to a topic that I wanted to talk about, because you really, really are a modern watch expert. Let's talk about that Defy El Primero real quick.
Yeah. Okay. So I love it. I think Zenith.
But by Zenith, everyone knows it's by Zenith. Yeah.
Yeah. They hit a home run at Baselworld, because the one thing about the El Primero, every brand has an icon. Okay. The Rolex has the Submariner. Carkey has the tank, AP has the Royal Oak, and pretty much only the Royal Oak. Zenith, their icon is a movement. Like, what the hell does an El Primero look like? No, because it's come in TV style cases, it's come in square cases. An El Primero is faceless.
Right.
This skeleton.
But is it though? But is the El Primero faceless though? I don't agree with that. I mean, it's a movement, and no one can recognize. Well, most people can't recognize the movement. But the El Primero, is classically associated with one particular chronograph. One particular chronograph. Yeah, isn't it?
It is to me and you, because we do this every day.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know what an El Primero looks like.
Really? I mean, I know it's not as famous, but I feel like the El Primero in the tricolor is much more recognizable than the El Primero in any other, I don't know. I feel like that is an icon. It's more of an icon to people like you and me, but it is still an icon to a little bit of the mass market. Well, I just think that
it is more recognizable than the others. You're 100% correct, but I still think you put up an El Primero on even a moderate, even a watch collector who's beginning, and you blur out the word Zenith, just put an El Primero, a picture of an El Primero without the word, a lot of people won't know what the hell it is.
I don't dispute that. I probably don't. No, because most of the attention is diverted onto many, I don't want to say more important watches, because they're certainly not more important, but just different watches that are a little bit more recognizable, watches that get a little bit more, I had a debate like this today. I'm not going to go into it too much, but when people spend X amount of dollars, I think that number kind of like $4,000. When you start spending $4,000 and above, it's not just about the watch anymore. It's not just about how much you like it. It is about public perception. And I think that at I don't know how much a vintage original El Primero is right now. I have no idea. It's not my business.
It's not that expensive.
If it was more famous, that watch would, it has every other reason to be probably double or triple the price. But at the moment, because no one really appreciates them, they're lower. My big problem, and I agree and disagree with you. I do think that the El Primero obviously is a movement, and obviously there are non-El Primero looking watches, without the tricolor. They just use the movement, whether they're by Zenith or they're by Ebel or Ebel, or you're say that do represent a lot of value. They look nothing like the classic El Primero, but they utilize one of the best movements, the chronograph movements in the world. Okay. The problem I have is beyond those watches. how is this watch, this Defile Primero, which I wish I could show a photo of. We're on the live stream, so I can't. I should have pulled it up on my phone. How is this watch related in any way, to the original El Primero in design? It doesn't even pull from it, really. And worse than the fact that it's not even really related to the El Primero, it looks like a fucking Hublot. And by coincidence, Jean-Claude Beaver either is running that show right now or like was running it 4 months ago, and I doubt that he cut cold turkey. So right. That to me just drives me nuts. And for those of you who don't understand right now, I just want to give everyone 1 second. If you don't understand what we're talking about, please look up, Zenith El Primero on Google. I should have did this for you guys. I'm so sorry. Look up Zenith El Primero on Google, and then look up Defy El Primero on Google. On Google Images, you're going to see them both. The original is the original, and this looks nothing like it. So that's a little context. Federico.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And actually, that's a very good point because I didn't even think about that. But here's my counterpoint. Zenith is a brand that's finally picking up. It's finally picking up because when I was selling Zenith retail not that long ago, 5 years ago, I was giving that shit at 35% off. Like, buy one, get one free. No one knew what the hell they were. Right. The marketing went really well, and they've marketing the living crap out of the classic El Primero. Then the El Primero striking 10th. It's becoming an icon.
Yes.
But what the new Defy does, in my opinion, is it takes this hot horology look, skeletonizes a good movement, puts it in a crazy case, and it comes in around $10,000. Where a Hublot Aerobang with a skeletonized 7750, not even a skeletonized El Primero, is $22,000. So right. I like it because it's basically giving the big fuck you to like all these people that are making these skeletonized modern watches, but Zenith's doing it with a quality movement and for half the price.
Right.
That's where I come
get
from.
That.
For me, it's like, wow, that's actually worth what they're asking for.
Yeah, I always we'll wrap this up in just in a second, but I love Jean-Claude Beaver for so many reasons. I think he's brilliant. I think he understands the market really well. I think that if I had a watch company, a real big watch company, I'd bring him on as an advisor, even if just to disagree with him. But I think his opinion alone, I really do think brings a lot to a table. And I get it. If the Defy is a value prop, that's a big FU to a lot of other companies, I'm cool with that. I just really hope that the Defy El Primero isn't a window into the future of Zenith, which would obviously mean in 3 years they forget who they are and they have one homage to the original Zenith. And that I would hate. I would hate that. Well, if you look at vintage. If you look at the James Bond Aston Martin, what is that? The DB9 or 5 or whatever the fuck it is.
DB5.
The DB5. Look at that car next to a modern, most that I've seen, modern Aston Martins. They look very different, but the core really is there. The brand has been able to keep the bones of the design, and with the Defy, it's not there. And maybe I'm just a jerk because I'm so focused on respect to historical design. Maybe I'm wrong, but you're hurting me a little bit, Jean-Claude Beaver. But
you're right. But Christian, at the end of the day, it's also a business, and they have to make money. And
you're right. Fine. They're going to make money dancing on the grave of Zenith. No, they could do super well. I wish them nothing but luck.
They've got the Elite. They've got the El Primero. They've got the Captain Windsor. What didn't they have? They didn't really have a sports line. Yeah, there was an El Primero sports watch that, like, some guy jumped. I don't know. The guy that broke the world record for, like, a free fall jump. Baumgartner. I'm not even sure. But it's a modern sports Zenith. And actually, the Defy did exist, and it's what almost destroyed Zenith 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, go look up.
All right, we've been talking about this for too long. Look, I'm tapping my watch because people are going to get I want to leave them wanting more, man. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of whatever the frig series this is. Federico, well, I'll give my plug first. If you don't already, give us a follow. Theo and Harris on Instagram. That's where we go behind the scenes. You see what we're up to on a daily basis. You see what's on my wrist, what's in my hands, meetings. Yesterday I posted a Laurent Ferrier, which if you don't know what that is, if you followed us on Instagram, you would. So Federico, go right ahead.
And guys, of course, subscribe to Federico Talks Watches. And if you want to check out my new project, that's www.delraywatch.com for a curated selection of watches. And of course, I have to thank Christian for picking up my late night phone calls when I'm freaking out because I don't know how website stuff works. And yeah, you've been a real good sport, man. Thanks for all the help.
My pleasure, buddy. If any of you guys are looking for a watch, shoot Federico an email. He's got a good Sea Dweller listed right now. Cheap price, too. So so go right ahead. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will speak to you all. What's today? Today's Friday? Today's Friday. I will see you all tomorrow on Ask TNH Live. Adios.
Take care.